Is a BRRRR property worth it? How much did we profit off this deal after a year? How much are we taking out every single month? That's exactly what I'm breaking down in this video. Let's jump in. Welcome to Investing with the Baldovinos. My name is Josh Baldovino, and on this channel, we document our real estate investing journey. And today, I am talking about our second BRRRR property in Columbus, Ohio, called the Tammy Duplex. This is the duplex. It is a 2-1 on each side. It's a pretty small duplex, so you can see that our agent's walking in here. A lot of deferred maintenance, obviously some leaks coming from the bathroom. And the tenants were not taking great care of the units. The current owner was not taking great care of the units. We did get this tenant occupied, and this was I found this in February, and I'll break down how we found it, how we fund it, and all that good stuff. But definitely a lot of work that needs to get done, right? Most of the mechanicals, though, were pretty updated. I was pretty surprised about that. The roof was in good condition, but obviously the kitchen here, very small kitchen, one thing that I did like about this, the neighborhood was a great neighborhood. It did also have this 4-car detached garage, which I think was amazing. But in a very nice, primarily owner-occupied neighborhood, says our property manager. So let's just jump into this deal. I wish it came with this car, right? It's pretty cool. Anyways, so let's talk about first how we found this deal, right? So this is the Tamarack Duplex, how I found it. I did make a whole nother video. I'll link it down below. I created a Zillow scraping tool. Basically, it pulls the latest listings that are off Zillow in a specific zip code area that you select. And with a couple inputs, it'll then calculate automatically the rent to price ratio. So you know, hey, will this potentially hit the 1% rule, which means that you're dividing the purchase price divided by the amount of rents. If you can get above 1%, that's amazing. In this case, I think it was like a 1.3% or something like that. Anything less than that, it may be harder to cash flow. Not impossible, just depending on the area. Whole nother video. Anyways, tangent over. In terms of funding the deal, we did have a partner for this deal. So we partnered with my wife's besties. Hey, Denise, man, if you're watching this, what's up, guys? And we also funded it through hard money, through I wouldn't say they're a local-based hard money lender, but they do have an office, and our rep was in Columbus, but they're based out of Texas, but they do a lot of deals in Columbus. For those who don't know what hard money is a short-term fix and flip loan that is based on the hard asset, meaning you're trying to buy something distressed like this Tamarack Duplex here, and eventually fix it up into something beautiful. And then it had a 12% interest with like 2 points, meaning that 12% interest over the course of a loan to buy a house, you may think, oh, it's a lot and it's crazy. And it is. I'll show you those numbers in a second. In order to fix and flip and purchase this with the least money down, this is one of the ways to go about it. I have a whole other video about hard money that I can link down below too. Anyways, so that's what we did. Let's talk about the acquisition numbers. So this was listed on the MLS for $135,000. I think within that same day that it was listed, our agents were able to go out there, walk it. They knew the area very well. We locked it up under contract for $130,000, which means that was already pre-approved and had an existing relationships with the hard money lender, which is why it's important to have these relationships and your, whatever pre-approval letters you need beforehand, before you start shopping. Our agents, who are also going to be our property managers, were really helpful in terms of figuring out, ballparking what we might need. I think initially they came in at around $45,000. I mean, $10,000 more, I know, is a significant amount more, but that's how much we ended up spending on the rehab, was $55,000. And then at the time of purchase, I thought, and this was back in March of 2021, I thought that the estimated after repair value would be $210,000. I was pretty conservative at this point. If you can think about it, if you're going the BRRRR strategy, which is what we were doing for this property, BRRRR strategy, meaning you buy a property, right? That's probably needs a lot of work like this one. And then from there, you rehab it. You then rent it out to some tenants. And then once the property is stabilized, meaning that it's fixed up, and has tenants inside there, you refinance the property and you're able to pull money out, do a cash out refi based on the property now being more beautiful, being income producing, and the bank will give you a higher loan amount off of that. And then you repeat it. That's the BRRRR. Here's the real project cost, right? Again, $185,000 to buy it, to rehab it, kind of just rounding on closing costs here and there. And then in terms of acquisition, our hard money lender actually was only willing to lend basically 83% of the total project cost. So we had to bring in $30,000, $31,000, including closing costs, to close on the deal, which we thought was a little bit more than we initially planned. We initially thought that they would fund 90% of the purchase and 100% of the rehab, but due to the underwriting, basically the guy in the back end who is analyzing the deal, they have their criteria of what their max allowed to lend on, and so theirs was 83. So we had to come up with a difference for this project. Hard money on a rehab project is typically a reimbursement process, not upfront. So make sure that you also have enough cash aside to have those draws upfront to be able to pay for those draws before you submit for a reimbursement, kind of like what you do for work. I will also say that most hard money lenders will also require you to have at least 6 months of interest-only payments. That's also another note about the 12% interest, which I'll talk about here. So how much does it cost to use? We acquired it in March. It took another month to get the tenants out, to give them 30 days notice. They actually took a couple more weeks after that to move out of the property. Then rehab took a little bit longer than we thought. Refinancing took a little bit longer than we thought as well, just because of underwriting. So we paid 8 different monthly payments of $1,500 for interest-only payments at 12% interest, meaning we gave our lenders $12,000. Is that worth it to you? Let me know in the comments below. Let's see. Would you do the same thing? So was it worth it? The after numbers. I know I didn't show you the after numbers. So let's stop this share. So this is the after pictures of it. Not in a great order, but LVP throughout, new paint, new windows. Definitely, I mean, this is just your more modernized renter grade finishes. Although the appliance package that we put in here was probably nicer than we needed to do. And that was one learning for me, was that you definitely did not need this giant fridge, especially in this small kitchen. I think each side was about 650 square feet. So it's definitely a small 2-1. This neighborhood, again, like I said, was a nicer neighborhood. So we chose to do nicer finishes in the bathrooms. We have the full, tile surround, black hardware, a little more modern with the inset. Of course, completely dry locked and cleaned out the basement. That's another thing to keep in mind as well, is that the tenants, when they moved out, they left pretty much a lot of junk. So we had to spend another $1,500 to junk it out. But very clean, updated, fresh rental, brand new bathroom, brand new kitchen. I know these aren't the best pictures, but we have the electric stove here with the microwave vent combo. And then we also have a dishwasher. Putting a dishwasher in, again, is really based on your neighborhood. Not all neighborhoods need a dishwasher. In this case, I know that it took up an extra spot for some lower cabinets, but because it was a nicer area, we decided to put in a dishwasher just to, make it nicer for them. But very clean throughout. If you remember initially, we thought that it would appraise for $210,000. When we were refinancing it, to our great surprise, it actually appraised for $245,000, which is $35,000 more than we initially thought. That means we were able to pull out a cash out refi loan of $183,000. We paid off that initial loan. If you remember, through hard money, that was $154,000 here. Which means we got a check back of 24 grand. Some cash was left in. But the big kicker here was that our equity created this gap here between, if you subtract $183,000 from $245,000, means that spread is the equity that we created out of nowhere. The bank says, hey, this is how much your property is worth. Here's how much you also have inside, just locked away, that once we decide to sell it, maybe a couple of years, refinance it, whatever it is, we can tap into this. That is a real winner here. But of course, you want to talk about, hey, how much are you guys making on a monthly basis on this property? So you guys saw the after pictures. The monthly income, I would say it took us a little bit longer to refinance because it took us longer to rent this out, meaning we initially priced it a little too high. I think our property managers actually were really impressed by our contractor's work. And so they initially put it up for rent for $1,300. We got a couple bites, but no one that really met their criteria. We lowered it down to $1,250 after a couple of weeks, and then lowered again down to $1,200. And then we finally locked in 2 tenants at $1,200 per month. We also charge them back $60 a month for their water usage. Tenants do the electricity is separately metered, but water is something that we charge back to them. And then they also have a pet fee. I'm not sure why one's actually $11. Maybe it's a fish or something. I didn't really ask. It was a $14 spread. That's something that just does not, I don't know. It's not worth the hassle, right? So the total gross income that we're bringing in is $2,556 per month. Let's talk about the cash flow, right? So now I do not get to pocket $2,500 a month. Expenses. We have our mortgage payment, our PITI, so it's mortgage, taxes, insurance, which comes out to $1,237 a month. We also have a management fee. So our property manager charges $50 a door for multifamily. So that's $100 a month there. Water, I'm budgeting that we pay water up front and again, are billing our tenants back for it. Usually it's about $50, but let's just be like super conservative and say $75 aside. So it's $1,487 is what we're estimating to be our monthly recurring expenses. Now, you don't just subtract $2,500 from $1,400. You want to save for things that come up. You have your maintenance items. So if there's a leak in the bathroom or whatever it is, you want to be able to have enough money every single month to cover any of those maintenance expenses. So we save 5% there per month, which is $127. CapEx, this is your major repair items, your capital expenditures, like your roof, your foundation, any bigger ticket items, you set aside a little bit of money so that you have some reserves in case something happens down the road. For this, I mean, we replaced almost everything in the property. So we don't expect a lot for CapEx, which is why we have it only at 5%. Some people who are buying an older property but not putting in as much upfront rehab will budget a little bit more in savings just to be a little more conservative. Vacancies. So of course, if, hopefully in this area, it seems like most tenants stay between 2 and 3 years. So hopefully they stay a little bit longer than that. But in the off chance that they don't, we have our start saving a little bit more money just to cover, half of their expenses or their contributions to paying off our expenses. So then our total in savings is roughly about $380 a month. So what that means is I'm subtracting now this $2,556 from our total expenses plus our total savings, which means that nets us $685 a month. So that's what we get to withdraw every single month. Now, of course, we have a 50-50 partnership. So each side, assuming that everything goes perfect and there's no maintenance requests, gets to withdraw $342 per month. That is our profit. Is that worth it to you? To me, $300 a door, basically, $340 doors, awesome, especially today. Now that the project is completely rented out and refinanced and looks great and is a safe, great livable place for tenants, we're really happy about it. Would you do the same deal? Was 8 months of headache putting this deal together, analyzing, a bit of stress. Would it be worth it to you? Let me know. 9 months. Is this worth the patience for you? Is this worth the headache for you? Let me know. We're super excited. Obviously, being able to create $60,000 in equity is awesome. Our plans for this property is to hold it for at least another 3 to 5 years, and then figure out what we want to do with any of the increased equity after that. But for now, it was a successful BRRRR deal. We almost got all of our money out. Obviously, you saw that after closing costs, we left about $15,000 in. If you want more information on my Zillow scraping tool, again, the link is down below. If you have any questions about this deal, let me know in the comments below. But thanks so much for watching. Really appreciate you guys. Hey, and also breaking down these numbers, making those, the the slides like that, it takes a lot of work. So if you can give it a thumbs up, if you want to subscribe for more, that would mean a lot. That would just mean a ton. Just because it does, if they found value in any way, it just helps me and it lets me know that, hey, you guys like it. And it helps me keep doing what I'm doing. And it's free. So, that's cool too. Anyways, thanks so much. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, all that fun stuff. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Cheers. Like it. Thank you. Subscribe. All that good stuff. Can you share it too? Honestly, the best way that you could say thank you is to share it with someone who you think would find value from it.